Hello, welcome back to Chaotic Corp. I'm your host, Tristan, joined by my co-host.
Jordan.
And
Along
today
with us
we
today, we
have...
have a
Alright, cool, you go ahead. We did not rehearse
take
this at all.
five.
No, we
No,
don't.
no, take five.
We don't. Take 5. We only did 4 takes. Come on. We're
Okay.
fine. Just keep on going. Just introduce him. It'll be
All right.
fine.
Okay. Along with us today, we have a special guest. Say hello. Special
Hello.
guest.
I am Tristan's dad, and my name is Carl.
So we're here
Carl.
today to... Unless you want to interview my dad real fast, Jordan. Does he sound like you were about to interview him?
No, I
No?
just like his name.
All right.
Yeah, right.
So okay. So that's my dad, the person that got me into Star Wars ever since I was like 4. So this entire weeb fest of a podcast is his fault.
Yeah.
So-
yeah. It was one rainy day when he was like 4. I said, "Hey, let's watch Star Wars." He's like, what's that?" So I popped it in. He was hooked ever since.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's been life. And then I don't know when you got into it, Jordan, because I never knew you as the nerd type until you started going off about Marvel in like mid high school. And
Yeah,
even
but
then I didn't take you as a Star Wars nerd.
Yeah. Well, I kind of kept that hidden, as you can see why. It really spiraled out of control. With season 7 of the Clone Wars, it really spiraled out of control, and then Mandalorian hit. I was like, okay, time to go overdose mode.
It really did, because like I know that our whole subject today is about the Mandalorian, but like just looking back at the Clone Wars, it took like concepts that weren't that important anymore, because like when Maul died, people just like wrote him off, and then now he plays a giant role in the final arc too.
Yeah.
You know, it was a big game changer, the entire Clone Wars. Like even before season 7, you know, there was a lot of things in there that just, you know, humanized the clones and everything, just gave it more character. But you know, I could go all day on that. Today we're talking about the Mandalorian. Right. So the idea, just to remind the viewer of the show, the idea of the show is to watch a particular episode. For in this case, it's a whole season that we're going over. So watch the whole season, and then listening to this podcast. So anyway, we're talking about the first season of The Mandalorian, and we're going to go into speculations of the second season, things that are rumors, things that are confirmed. And a lot of things that are confirmed have to do with the Clone Wars. So if you haven't seen the Clone Wars, I highly suggest you watch the Clone Wars. And then also highly suggest that you go through the first like 10 episodes of this podcast, because they're all about the final seasons of the Clone Wars. So anyway, going on The Mandalorian, it was made, one of the big people who had anything to do with it was Dave Filoni. Dave Filoni's been making Clone Wars. He had his like little hand in Rebels, which we're in the middle of Rebels. We don't. When I say we, it's my dad excluded. It's me and Jordan. We
Not taking that much of a liking to it, I'm gonna be honest with you.
not really,
So
but
bad.
I've heard season 1 is so like not good,
Season 1 is a little iffy, but
and the
that,
music
that
is
one
so.
episode where we just saw just now. Go ahead real quick, and then I want to.
Oh, I was just saying that the music is so like misplaced. Like they take like old Star Wars
so
tracks,
misplaced.
and it was like, oh yeah, the fans would love this, and just throw it in whatever scene. It's just like that doesn't give me the same vibe.
So bad.
That's weird.
No, it's
you know?
not. It's got.
Don't get me
in
wrong,
my
John
opinion, it's
Williams
got
will always
Disney
be a
slapped
genius.
all over it.
But
Like Disney, took Star Wars and just slapped it into its own puppet.
pretty much.
This newest episode, what was it, like episode 5 or 4, where they actually brought out Unduli? I don't remember her full name. Green girl with the little dots on her chin.
I don't remember what. Did you go ahead of me? I don't even know.
No, I was talking about this new episode that we had just watched last week on Rebels. It had Unduli in it, and they thought that she was alive, and then turns out that she was actually
Luminara,
dead.
Luminara, what is wrong with you?
Luminara Andoli. Okay, I don't know her first name. I know her last name. All right, fans are gonna kick my ass in the comments, and I can already tell you.
They're gonna do that to
But,
all of us.
listen.
I don't know if you've been listening to the entire podcast. We could not get a single name
No,
that was new. Like
No.
Rafa and Trace for like the first few episodes that we knew Rafa and Trace. Literally
I
did
didn't
not know
care.
their names.
No, this is Rebels.
Rafa and Trace are from New Clone Wars. I was just like going
Season
back
7.
on, yeah,
Oh.
season 7. I was just going back on like the earlier episodes of our podcast where we just could not remember any names whatsoever, and this is a prime example of what's been happening this entire season. So anyway, let's go. Let's dive. We've been talking too much about Rebels. Let's dive back into the Mandalorian. So the Mandalorian was definitely different. A lot of people compared it to like a space western, and the only thing I knew about the Mandalorian going in was Baby Yoda. That was the I hated
Oh
that
no.
thing. I despised.
Come
Baby
on,
Yoda.
I said Baby
Listen.
Yoda.
Listen, I like Baby Yoda. I like the concept, but it's just it was everywhere. I was tired of seeing it.
Now, people need
hated
to
it.
know that you're an idiot if you really think that that's Baby Yoda. People that aren't
I
big
know
into
that.
Oh
that
yeah,
aren't nerds like us need to know first off that it's not Baby Yoda. It is just his species. Nobody knows what his species name is yet. I
Yeah,
didn't even
that's-
look it up. They said it was unknown.
Right.
yeah.
but
I remember having like an old
we-
Star Wars book
yeah.
with like
And like the whole
biographies.
idea, you've always seen Yoda as this old,
Yeah,
walking real slow. I mean, this one
he
does
was like
too,
800
but
years old when
yeah.
he was Luke.
but you never seen a
And it was
baby
50.
one,
This baby is 50.
right? And
Yeah, and he's
you've
still,
never
like,
seen
infant
one.
stage.
I think that's what caught everybody's attention to it.
well that and
It
like the
definitely
fact
caught
that
the
it was
fans,
like
but-
Right.
cute and all.
Right.
You know that was just like that's what
It just
spread it all over
attracted
the internet.
Non-fans, and I'm like, please go ruin another franchise, please.
Pretty much, like a fan base really does ruin a franchise at some certain points.
It really does.
You know, like the Five Nights at Freddy's fan base, the stuff that they do with Five Nights at Freddy's, that's terrible.
No.
That's terrible.
Rule 34.
No, don't even go into Rule 34. That
Oh
is
man,
that is.
I'm not even gonna get into it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to
It's too
explain
bad.
that one to you later.
Hmm.
That's gonna be really That's gonna be really hard to explain to my father what Rule 34 is and how I know it. So anyway, going forward,
The Mandalorian was directed by Dave Filoni, John. Crap, I'm gonna go ahead and just look up the directors because I totally forgot. It was the guy who actually directed all of the Iron Man movies. Frick me. Give me one sec. Directors of
as you can see, we're very prepared for this.
We're very prepared.
We were a
Alright,
lot more
so it
prepared
was Dave
for
Filoni.
Clone Wars, but go on. Sorry, go on.
So it was Bryce Dallas Howard, Dave Filoni, which I know, Deborah Chow, I don't know, Rick Famuyiwa, and Takeda Waititi, who is a very good director. He directed, for those of you who don't know, Thor Ragnarok.
He
And
definitely did a good
I
job
believe
with
it also-
Ragnarok.
He did a very good job, and it had Jon Favreau in it as well, which is also a very, very good actor. For those of you who don't know, he did the Iron Man movies, and he played as Happy Hogan in the Iron Man movies. I don't know who will be directing the second season. I'm hoping that it's that same team, because
Yeah.
season one honestly was a very big hit. In my opinion, I really didn't see how many stars it got, but nonetheless, it was really,
definitely
really
popular.
good to me.
I don't know if
It
that
was
was
very, very
because
popular.
of Baby Yoda or is because of good storytelling.
Let's not give Baby Yoda any credit. Here,
Well,
okay?
I'm just being realistic here. Like a lot of people
No, you're
were
being
attracted
realistic,
to
but I
Baby Yoda,
don't
but
want
like
to do that.
Yeah, I mean,
You don't wanna do
I
that.
like the Baby Yoda,
But,
whatever
like-
his name may be. But again, I agree with Tristan. Like well, I agree with you too about the storytelling and the Mandalorian character itself and everything. I mean, there was a few things in this show that kind of like threw me for a loop. I was telling my son,
Like what?
Well, like the whole okay, and I don't watch Clone Wars with you, but I'm going by movies, okay. But when that whole scene, when him as a kid, and you see the battle droids, the super battle droids,
Right.
killing everybody,
Right.
and I'm kind of thinking, whoa, wait a minute, this had to be during the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of looking at his character going, he shouldn't be 30. He should be more like 50. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Right. And and me and Tristan were discussing it. I'm kind of hoping it was like a recycle mode. Like some people said, hey, we'll take these droids off your hand and we'll use them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there were multiple instances in the comics and some of the video games where people took battle droids like from old battles, and like someone even in Legends they revived Grievous for a little bit and remade him into you didn't hear about that? I mean, I don't think it's
Legends though.
Yeah, it's Legends. It's not canon anymore, but it's in Legends like years after the Battle of Utapau.
Well, if it was Legends, it was just pure Legends.
That and the fact, like I said, Clone Wars, like the Mandalorians, I read some of the, what do you ever call it, the mass universe, whatever.
Expanded universe.
Expanded universe, like, you know, books and stuff like that. I knew the Mandalorians did not like the Jedi, and the Jedi did not like them.
No.
They fought with each other. They had a full-out war. The Mandalorians lost. They still had their planet, but, you know, and that was, again, why were they there fighting these robots, helping these people? You know what I mean? And you're looking at it going, wait a minute, if this happened during the Clone Wars, this Mandalorian should be way much older than what he's playing. You know what I mean?
True.
Yeah, of course.
I think, Tristan,
like I said, I think
Wars.
it's. Oh, I'm sorry. Go on.
No. I was just gonna say real quick. Didn't we look up the Clone Wars lasted like 3 years? Didn't it?
Yeah, I believe the Clone Wars lasted for about 3 years. So I think Anakin was about what? I'm trying to do math here. He was 22 by the end of the Clone Wars. I don't know why I put that random comparison there. I'm sorry, but anyway, the Clone Wars was
it's fine.
3 years long. Is what we searched up. So
right. So from the time of the Clone Wars, like let's say the middle of the Clone Wars till, let's say like right after the Empire era. Do we even know how long after the Empire fell? That I mean, it might have had to have been right after, because remember you saw stormtroopers on whatever planet that was, and you saw, and you heard of Imperial warlords still going around. So, what? Maybe let's say 5 years.
You also it definitely had to be long enough for the rebellion to make a clear government structure after that, because before, like, the rebellion was just a military existence. They didn't really have any politics outside of like generals and stuff. But like there was one like title that they gave. They call them the New Republic. Like they were no longer the rebellion. They weren't just purely a military force. They were now a military force with a government. They did. Episode 6 when they were breaking that one Twi'lek guy out. And they called it a New Republic ship.
Yes. Yeah.
And they referred to them as the New Republic multiple times.
Right.
So it definitely had to be short enough for the Empire to still be like kind of around, and long enough for the rebellion to establish a foundation for a certain type of government, which is probably democracy. So. I would say 5 years is realistic, but I couldn't tell you.
We would just have to take the times and add it all up to get his age, even to be able to see how old he was really.
Yeah, me and my dad did the math. There was probably there was 3 years in the Clone Wars, then there was probably 9 years in the Galactic Civil War. Between those two times was 20 years, or 19 years to be specific, but just to not have my brain do all that math, I'm going to say 20 years. So right there, you got 30 years, or 29 years even. This character should be 40 if he was like, say that he was 10 in that flashback scene. If that was during the Clone Wars, he should be like 40 by the time. He didn't look 40. He looked like 20, 25 to me.
In the show?
In the show.
In the show. He didn't look old at all. I mean, I was thinking of seeing like some kind of Obi-Wan character, you know, with a beard or, you know, a little older. You know what I mean? Like you can see, I don't know.
Be unrealistic.
No.
If they did that.
I don't know. It just kind of threw me for a loop going, wait a minute, that's a lot of time.
It really
between,
did too.
You know, like...
Bring it up.
Right. And then if the Jedi were fighting, you know, those droids during the Clone Wars and all that other stuff, why would the Mandalorians be there helping them out? You know what I mean? Like, why would they get themselves involved in a battle like that?
Yeah, I feel like it was recycled. No, it wasn't their people.
No,
because because when the whole idea behind that entire scene was to show that Mando was not by blood a Mandalorian, and it was to show that the Mandalorians were not just a race; they were a creed, a certain religion, basically, like a lifestyle. So he was not part of the Mandalorian people. He adapted to their religion, basically.
They raised him to be that way.
Exactly. So, what was sorry.
I was gonna say, I was just gonna say, do you think maybe Mandalorian culture could have been wiped out, and then they, like the actual like Mandalorian like warriors like rose up from the ashes, and tried to like stabilize some kind of creed or something out of that? You think? Do you think maybe
what I believe would happen
got wiped out or somehow?
Yeah, what I believe would happen was, as we've seen at the end of the Clone Wars, there was a siege of Mandalore, and around the time of Order 66, the Republic had a heavy, what's the word? Existence, I'll say. I can't think of a better word. Presence. I'm sorry. He had a heavy military presence on Mandalore already. So two of their biggest threats are the Jedi and the Mandalorians. Jedi being the first, because first of all, the Jedi beat the Mandalorians in a war so many years ago. They had the power of the Force. However, the Mandalorians, they're a proud warrior race. You know, their whole religion is based around fighting. So if anyone were to rise and take arms against the Empire and have a chance at it, would be the Mandalorians. So at that point, they would take over Mandalore and possibly wipe most of them out. And that's probably why they're all in hiding at that point. And even after the Empire, their numbers were so low that they still needed to hide. You know?
Right.
And they hated that. They were you know, ashamed of that. Yeah, we even saw that in the Clone Wars as well. There was this whole speech that Maul gave them. They were all hiding in the sewers, hiding from the other Mandalorians because there was kind of like a civil war, all that.
Right.
And they were hiding in the sewers, and then Maul gave this entire speech. He's like, "Yo, if you're gonna die, you're gonna die as a warrior." And when he said that, they were like all for like, "Yeah, let's charge up at them and have this entire thing." And Maul led them all to their deaths and captures, but they were willing to do it because they were like hiding in the sewers is shameful. They much rather die as a warrior than to live as a rat,
Right.
But anyway, what was everyone's favorite episode? We can start with you, Jordan. What was your favorite episode out of the 8 that we've got so far?
Can I go last?
Oh, if you want to go last, you can.
Maybe the last episode. I'd have to say maybe the last episode. What is the episode? I can't remember. 8? Are there 8 episodes or 12?
No, it was 8. They only gave us 8 episodes, which honestly they were pretty long episodes. Right. But
they were like an hour and a couple minutes, but I was pretty satisfied. I think episode 8 was my favorite, and because you get feels from it. I'm gonna be honest with you. You get kind of like feels. Especially I can't explain this and tell you enough when that one dude, I guess he's like an Imperial officer, brought out the frickin' dark saber and cut his way out of the TIE fighter that he crashed in. I was like, holy crap, where did he get that and how? And I can't wait until season 2. They better explain it. They better not
I was the same way, Jordan. Same way, man. When he brought that out, I was like, "Whoa, wait a minute." You
know where that's from, though, right?
Yeah, it's the Mandalorian.
Yes. Okay. Well, now
he knows the lore. He knows the lore. He doesn't need to see Clone Wars to know.
Yeah, I know that the Mandalorians had the dark blade. Like they had the dark blade. Special ones had it. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, and I didn't watch the show but like reading the books, the Mass Universe, whatever, the expanded universe in the books and everything. I mean, I even read Life and Death on the Death Star, for crying out loud. And actually, it was actually really good, huh?
Is that Legends?
Is
the book called
It probably was Legends.
It's a book like Life on the Death Star. It was like, oh my, I mean, okay. it was good. It was
I'm
good,
reading in order. I've got a reading list. I'm reading about Dooku, Jedi Lost. It's actually canon. You know what canon means, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's Dooku Lost, Jedi Lost, and it's about like his life as a kid and like how he raised and taught Qui-Gon and how he betrayed the Order. And then I didn't know, but yeah, like there's like a whole reading list that I've got going on, and that's like the first book that I'm starting out with. Is there a book about Mandalorians that is canon that I don't know about?
Jordan, to be honest with you, I it's been so long since I read actual Star Wars book. I couldn't tell you that, but I know in a lot of them they talked about the Mandalorians, and that's why I kind of hoping in the second season they bring up the war between the Jedi and them, because there's not much said about. To me, I haven't read it. If it's out there, I don't know, but
technically, I don't think that would be considered the High Republic. Would that, Tristan? That would be
I don't think it was that long ago.
No, you're right, because High Republic. Okay, do you know about the High Republic?
Well, it had to be. No, I don't. But it had to been long ago, that war, because honestly, I was wondering why, like, if they know that they got beat by the Jedi. If you notice in the episodes, she didn't call them Jedis. She called them sorcerers, like people who do magic.
Right.
And I'm kind of like, well, wait a minute. No, they're not sorcerers, but they're Jedi. You know, like, so why did she call them that? And why did they? I mean, how long ago was this war?
They also called Ben Kenobi a wizard in the original Star Wars. I don't think they referred to him as a Jedi. I think.
4, 5, and 6.
Well, people. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
In 4 or 5, in actual 4, he asked who Ben Kenobi was, and they explained it that he was a wizard, like somewhat of a wizard.
Wizard, Luke.
You know, it's like what? You know, but anyway.
You're a wizard, Luke.
I mean, that's all. I'm hoping in season 2 they touch up on that war between them two when he tries to find the Yoda creature, wherever we want to call it, because he doesn't want Baby Yoda. Okay, but
yeah,
I'm kind of hoping they touch up on that, on why they're enemies and what happened and all that stuff. And you're right. I can't wait to see how that guy got that black saber. I'm sitting there thinking, whoa, how did he get that?
So, Dad, what was your favorite episode out of the 8 that we've had?
You know, I gotta say, I liked all of them. I really did. And I'm shameful for saying this. I don't know what episode this was, but the episode where he fought the Mudhorn.
Oh, yeah, that was a really good one.
That was episode 2.
Yeah.
That was episode 2. That was a really good one.
And I think that was the same one, and I love the saying that he said, when the stormtrooper goes, "What are you, crazy? There's 4 of us and 1 of you," and he's like, "I like them odds."
I like those odds.
That was cool. I was like, yeah.
It just straight gave me Boba Fett vibes when he said that. You know, like, I know he's not Boba Fett, but, like, you know, I was like, yeah, that's...
Do you think he's better than Boba Fett? Who would you think would?
I want to see them fight.
Maybe him.
I feel like they would have a good chance at each other. I feel like
we'll get into that later, right?
Yeah.
Because we've got some stuff to talk about. What was your favorite, Tristan?
My favorite was, and like my dad, I loved all of them, but I think my favorite was episode 6, and I have like kind of like a bias because one of my favorite comedians played one of the
yes.
The criminals, I guess you'd say.
Yeah.
One of the criminals.
I think it was he was a bounty hunter too.
Yeah,
I think they were all bounty hunters.
Yeah, he was a bounty hunter. It was the bald guy, Bill Burr, and he's just one of my favorite comedians. And I didn't think he could like act all that well. The only thing I've seen him in was a little scene from Breaking Bad where he just told someone that their water was bad or something. And then that was it. He was there for like one season. It was just one scene, and then he was gone. Like I was like, okay, anyone can do that. But to see him play in a whole episode, I was like, oh, he's still going. I thought he was going to be in this one scene, but now he's on the ship, and
he's still going.
And you see like all these criminals or bounty hunters antagonize Mando, and he's he's still keeping his helmet on, but he's still keeping his head level. You know, he's not like...
And he's just not taking it, though. Once he gets that chance, he's going to pop them all.
Yeah, like, well, I mean, like, he didn't pop them all, like, all together. Like, he didn't, once they started taking his helmet off, he was defensive, but he wasn't too offensive. You know what I mean? He was kind of... There's a level of, like, cool-headedness. And as soon as he got betrayed, he was very crafty in escaping. And then the way everything was shot, and for some reason, like I knew, but the way everything was shot made it seem like he killed everybody. Made it seem like it was like a horror movie. Especially the last one that he took down was Bill Burr. You see I'm going to call him Bill Burr because I can't remember what his name was. But you see like the lights flashing. No. He's like looking around. The lights flashing, and each time it flashed, you see him just get a little bit closer to him, a little bit closer. All of a sudden, headlock. And that was the end of that until we got to the ship, and it was just okay. I was like, I feel like he killed them all, but at the same time, I feel like he spared them. And then that's when you saw them all on a cell. And the one thing I did not expect was when he delivered the actual prisoner over there. I didn't think he was going to actually deliver them. One thing I did not expect was him delivering him and then like leaving them with the beacon for the New Republic to track them down.
Yes.
When he said kill him, I'm like, there's got to be some kind of like countermeasure to this. All of a sudden, the guy opens something and sees the beacon, and is like, what's that? And he's like, I don't know what it is. And all of a sudden, 2 X-Wings show up. And then the entire fleet shows up.
X-Wings?
Exactly.
I'm like, yeah, they still exist.
Yeah, but like even in that scene, it's just like showed you that like the way they referred to them was the New Republic. So you saw that they formed a sort of government, that they weren't just a rebellious military presence. They were, they were forming a sort of government. And the one thing I want to see, and I know branching off to season 2, the one thing I want to see is the form, or at least the beginning of the forming of the First Order. Because the whole thing...
Yes,
that's one thing I didn't like too much about the sequels, was we never saw the forming
to us what they were.
Yeah. Because in the originals, we didn't really see how the Empire formed. We kind of wanted to see that, and they came out with the prequels. It was like, okay, this guy made this huge plan, made a bunch of clones, genocided a bunch of people, rose to power through politics and everything. That's how the Empire... That makes sense. But where does the First Order come from? The First Order, probably like a bunch of like zealots, as we've seen, people worshiping Sidious at the end of Rise of Skywalker. There was some zealots. That one Captain Pride
Pretty
guy,
sure they were all zealots of anyone.
was definitely a zealot of Sidious. But
Captain Pride.
Yeah, Captain Pride. You remember that one old dude that shot General Hux, and then he was saying something about serving Sidious like he did all those years in the somewhere back in the old Empire or something. And then me and my dad were trying to figure out who that guy was. I searched him up. His name's Captain Pride, but I can't find any prior history to Captain Pride before Rise of Skywalker. So I don't know. That was kind of a weird shot to me. But either way, there were some zealots that made up the First Order, military presence, all that good stuff. But we don't know. We don't know all too much. I kind of want to see the forming of that in like season 2 of The Mandalorian or something. You know.
Maybe not season 2, but if they keep going, season 3, 4, you might see something about that. Like I said, I'm hoping they touch up on the Jedi War between them and the Mandalorians, and
yeah,
I'm kind of thrilled now, hoping that he finds where the species come from, and where they're from, and why they're so connected to the Force, even when they're, you know what I mean, like
right.
Every one of them are that way, and I'd like to know why this
thing is so important,
right, to the Imperial officer. Why is he so?
I haven't seen.
What you said made sense about him wanting him for the Emperor
as a vessel,
or maybe to the Emperor to teach it to be a Sith.
Yeah, it has a lot of potential in the Force. So, like to expand on
I think it's his whole species does.
Right.
To expand for like the listeners, what my theory is that this old, I'm going to call him Gustavo because I'm pretty sure it's the same guy from Breaking Bad. So Gustavo over here, the Darksaber guy, I can't remember his name. You could attack me in the comments if you'd like. I'm not good with names.
I think you're gonna attack me.
They're gonna attack all of us, dude. We were bad at names this entire season. We're gonna have, every time we do something, we're just gonna have to write down each one's names. It really is a lot of names.
It is.
Especially, dude, like Rafa and Trace, we did not care about Rafa and Trace. So I'm surprised that I know their names now.
Get that to us.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those were two characters we hated during the last season of the Clone Wars. But anyway, back to my theory. My theory was that this guy is a zealot of Sidious or the Sith Eternal. And Sidious, when he transferred his being to another body, that body was broken and a lot more painful than his previous body, as we've read in the novel, or the novelization, if you did read it. It just seemed like another hell to him, and he'd just rather be dead than be in that body. Until, of course, he gets the life force later on, but that's a whole different spew. So if Sidious could transfer his consciousness into this 50-year-old, even though if it's an infant, really, whatever the species is that's really strong in the Force, not only is he strong, but he's also, like, he had a lot of years on him. A lot of them.
Right.
Like, Yoda trained Jedi for, what, 800 to 900 years. And that's only when he was training Jedi. He could be a lot more older than 800 or 900 years. We only can assume that he's at least that old. You know?
That's true.
Because he wasn't training Jedi at 50 years old, if that's what he looked like when he was 50. All right, for number one. And the second theory, as my dad already stated, which is pretty, like, cut and dry, is that could be a potential
Sith.
Yeah, Sith, an apprentice to the Emperor.
I saw actually something like that where it was like a picture of Yoda, and he was dark, and he had like red like Sith scribbles like all over his body, and he had a red lightsaber, and somebody was saying something about how how Sidious kind of wanted to turn him again, like how like your theory is right now. What you're saying is how he kind of did want to take advantage of that. But yeah, I saw that somewhere. I'd have to find it again.
Right. Yoda's species is like really strong in the Force. I don't know if would he be considered stronger than like Anakin, the Chosen One. I mean, because like he had so much power to like arouse Qui-Gon's suspicion. But at the same time, a lot of it did come from like him like having not having a father, and just being born from the Force
That's
itself.
True.
So it's just
Was
I don't
he
know.
really
That's
born from
just
the
kind
Force?
of.
Did they confirm that?
Sorry.
Did they confirm that he was born from the Force?
Yeah, I believe it. I don't know if it's still canon, but I remember like reading something about like Sidious and Plagueis messing with the midichlorians, and the midichlorians created Anakin as a way to destroy them in retaliation to them trying to manipulate them. Because the whole idea of the dark side of the Force, and I recently learned this through like TikTok like a few hours ago. I kid you not. Because there's a few Star Wars accounts I follow on there. They're really good. They give like, really good facts. The reason why Jedi can become Force ghosts is because when they use the Force, they accept it as in their own being, and the relationship they have with the Force is an ally. Whereas the Sith, the relationship they have with the Force is a tool, as a means to whatever
like
goals
what
they
Yoda
have.
said.
What did Yoda say?
The Force is an ally, and
Yes.
a powerful ally it is.
Exactly. So the Sith basically use the Force. They don't have any type of relationship with the Force, not letting it in, not letting it as a part of their own being. Whereas the Jedi, they kind of like accept the Force in, accept it as a part of their being, and just go with the flow of the Force, basically. So that's the difference. Where was I going with that?
Difference between the dark side and the light. That's all. I know I was going. I know I had a bigger picture there, but that's yeah.
No, it's good. It's good. I wanted to add in something real quick. While
Go
we're
ahead.
talking about the dark side of the Force. I saw this video. Remember, I told you that there was a. Okay, so in season, you know what arcs are, right?
Yeah. Like story arcs.
Dad, actually.
Oh, my bad. Go on.
No.
Okay, so arcs are like stories. Like
okay.
Like in season 7, there's 3 arcs, 4 episodes each. So we were supposed to get like 4 or 5 arcs, because like in the previous all the other seasons 1 through 6 of the Clone Wars, we got like 4 or 5 arcs. We only got 3 this season. I saw a video of an unfinished arc, and it was real. It was real. It wasn't made up or anything. Of that Inquisitor. An Inquisitor is Tristan can tell you in a minute because I'm
pretty sure he knows
it.
it.
Yeah, I know what Inquisitor is.
He actually recently played Jedi Fallen Order, so he definitely knows what Inquisitor is. Okay.
So there's a Inquisitor in that appears throughout Rebels. And our previous episode that we and Tristan had just watched, we finally came in contact with him. So there was an episode where he was actually talking to either the ghost of or the actual person, Darth Revan. And Revan was actually saying there has been an awakening, or like a huge awakening, like in the Force, the Chosen One. And he said, whoever controls the Chosen One controls, like, the galaxy, pretty much. And I was like, holy crap. Like, if they were to add something like that, actually, in the season, that would be, like, really big. And start to make people question things,
Right. See, my whole thing is, I already told you this, Jordan, was that I feel like they didn't do that because it was too big of a risk. Like, if they pulled it off, that would have been really great for them.
Because Revan's a big character. So.
He is.
And he's canon now, too.
If they had screwed it up somehow in the fans' eyes, the backlash that they would get, I don't know if they would come back from that because they already have like, a lot of backlash from the sequels because a lot of people dislike The Last Jedi and a lot of people dislike The Rise of Skywalker. Me, I'm fine with those movies for the most part.
50-50.
Like I've been, I've said multiple times. There's a lot of things on Last Jedi I don't like. There are some points that I get that I believe were right in The Last Jedi, but most of the movie I did not like it. The Rise of Skywalker I had my complaints about it, but at the same time you have to think about this guy had to retcon everything that Rian Johnson did. So he had the job of finishing out the entire saga. He had the job of fixing Rian Johnson's mistakes, and then he had a job of just pleasing everyone, and he had so many jobs to do all in one film. When you take that into consideration, it was a pretty good film. So
yeah,
but anyway,
I'll agree with that.
Either way,
speaking of,
sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Either way, no matter what my opinion is, a lot of people did not like The Rise of Skywalker. I remember hearing open day reviews that people were saying was worse than The Last Jedi. A lot of people didn't like The Last Jedi. Really? And I heard that. I heard that from
The Last Jedi though.
I'm just telling you what I heard. I don't think it was worse than The Last Jedi.
Nothing can beat The Last Jedi, bro. Last Jedi's the best. That's sarcasm, by the way. Don't actually take my word for it. But real quick, speaking of trilogies, I don't know whether it's been confirmed or not. There was a rumor, Taika Waititi. Actually, this has been confirmed. Taika Waititi, who I told you earlier, he has been set as the main director. I don't know if he was the writer as well, but he will be directing a live-action Star Wars movie in maybe the next year or two. Probably the next 2 years, actually, because Star Wars, why would you come out with another movie right now?
When you say the next 2 years, do you mean he's going to start filming in the next 2 years, or they're working on it now? It's supposed to come out in 2 years?
Yeah, I think so. I think they're going to start filming.
See,
I believe.
That's what my other problem was with these new movies was that they pumped one out every year. They just kept on saying, just Star Wars, December, Star Wars, December, Star Wars. Whereas the other ones, we looked, you and I looked at the release dates for both the originals and the prequels. They had 3 years apart between them for writing and filming and everything. They were all released.
I feel like
3
they
years
just wanted
apart.
to finish it.
And it's just
sorry.
No, it's just I feel like they spent more time doing that, and even though that say you take out Solo and Rogue One because they're different actor sets and they're probably even different crews and writers and everything else, there was still 2 years between each of the sequel films. It just felt way too rushed. And
it really
don't get me wrong, I don't like waiting either. I want my crap now, but at the same time, you just gotta put more passion into something like that, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Instead of just keep on pumping it in there, it's making us more
looking
money.
At the dollars, looking at the money, going,
it's all about the money, and that's one thing I'll openly criticize Disney for is that they just took, they canceled all the Netflix Marvel shows, and I know I'm getting to Marvel at this point, but it's just Disney's just getting way too much into the money. There's no magic in it anymore.
Especially with that Spider-Man dispute with Sony. That was so annoying.
Honestly, I think that was a publicity stunt.
I told Tristan I'm done with Spider-Man. I'm done. If they do another one and try to remake it, I'm done with it. You haven't even heard the latest thing about Spider-Man. I don't know if I even told you.
The latest thing is they fixed it.
They fixed it?
So it's all good now.
Thank God.
Yeah, they fixed it now.
Thank God. I would have boycotted them.
They even said, okay, so the whole I was right up on that because Marvel's my thing.
Do you want me to explain real fast for my father and the viewers what it was.
Go ahead.
So basically, what was his name? Kevin Feige. Kevin Feige came out and said that Spider-Man was going to be openly bisexual. They were going to change his sexuality. He just spit into a cup very angrily.
Wait a minute. Are you sure it was Kevin Feige and not somebody else? Because I don't think
I'm pretty sure it was Kevin Feige. I remember reading somewhere that Kevin Feige had announced that. Either way, someone somewhere.
Oh, you're gonna get me on a rant here, Tristan.
Announced.
You're gonna make me act up.
Announced that he was going to be bisexual, but now, as Jordan said,
yeah, I'm saying, well, I'm going to get worked up.
He's getting angry. I shouldn't have told him that. Which honestly, like, I don't have any problem with like the LGBT. I'll be,
right. Me neither. But Spider-Man's not gay.
Exactly. Like my
or bisexual.
He's not.
If you want to change a character, you make your own. Like honestly, like Miles Morales, who is a black Puerto Rican Spider-Man. He's one of my favorite Spider-Man that are not that's not Peter Parker.
He already exists. He exists in the comics. They didn't just poop him out.
Yeah,
he freaking exists.
If you want to make your own original character to, represent a certain whatever, fine. Do whatever you need to do. I don't care. But when you take something, and Spider-Man was my childhood. All right, I grew up on the Sam Raimi movies.
Mine too.
It's just like you take Peter Parker, and you're like, well, due to like everything changing the day, and everyone doesn't know certain things.
Equality.
Yeah, equality. He's gonna be bisexual now. No.
Not in the movies.
No, he's just a
Don't
normal.
ruin my childhood.
He's just a normal straight white kid. That's what he is. That's what Peter Parker is.
No need to make him gay if he's not gay in the comics.
Exactly.
There's female Spider-Men, or not Spider-Man, Spider-Women. There's Spider-Women. There's
equality, Jordan. What's wrong with you?
Asian Spider-Man.
You're sitting here.
There's a Asian Spider-Woman. Those exist, but don't make a character that doesn't exist.
Yeah,
or even their quality attributes, whatever.
Yeah, I have no problem
with turn it into something that it's not.
Yeah, I have no problem with making Penny Parker, Miles Morales, Gwen or Spider-Gwen. I have no problem with them making those characters. But then you take Peter Parker.
Gay.
Yeah.
They're pulling a they're pulling a who was the lady that did Harry Potter?
J.K. Rowling.
Yes.
J.K. Rowling.
By the way,
years
Dumbledore
after
was gay. By the way, Hermione was supposed to be black. What? It was all over Twitter.
Pretty much. She went all over Twitter saying that, this character's gay. That character was questioning this. This character was a different race. When there was nothing in the books to, relay that.
Right.
It's just if you want to make your characters gay and everything, that's all your universe. You power to you as the writer. But you want to say years later, once everything starts changing around you, you're like, yeah, this, they're gay. This one's black. This one's Asian. This one's bisexual. This one is a pony. It's just I don't know. It's just. But yeah, back to
and I just really wanted to say real quick, people are gonna voice their opinion on that, and then people are gonna come along and say, "Oh, you hate gay people."
No. Listen, like I said, and I'm sorry if I'm social suiciding our channel here, Jordan. But I have no problem. I'm sorry, but I have no problem with the LGBT.
No.
Most of my best friends are LGBT. But it's just when they start changing things to just cater to them, just purely to cater to them. It's just I have no problem with them making their own stuff. If they want to make their own stuff, if they want to make what was it? Love, Simon was completely a big hit. It was all a gay thing. I'm cool with them making stuff like that. You go ahead and make stuff like that. But when you start going into other things and start changing things around just to cater to a certain community, it's just it's a money grab. There's no, I have the same. It's the same problem I have with like Disney taking Marvel off of Netflix, and just basically and pumping out.
Put it on Disney Plus anyways, so. Except for the shows, yes, they did end up canceling the shows.
Right,
and I don't know why.
And what your sexual choice shouldn't be. I don't know why they have to change a superhero that people grew up on.
Right.
Right.
To satisfy another group of people that go, okay, we want to be equal. I'm all good with that. Like I said, I don't want to social suicide you people. Like, I'll give you a prime example. My thing was Captain Marvel. All right, I know we're getting off the Mandalorian here, but Captain Marvel. I even told my son when we went to see that movie, I'm kind of going, son. When I grew up, Captain Marvel in the comics was a man.
No, let me pause you right there. Captain Marvel is a man. Captain Marvel is Carol Danvers.
Okay.
She actually
there was rendition of.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, see, I didn't know that, and I'm thinking Captain Marvel should be a guy. But here was a woman, and I told him, I said, I don't know, how I'm going to feel about this. But to be honest, I thought it was really good. I was like, wow. I was like,
pleased with the movie.
Right. And I was like, wow. Now, they sit there and said, Captain Marvel's going to be a woman and a lesbian. I'll be like, well, wait a minute.
What? Wait.
Yeah, wait. Right.
He's saying if. He's saying if.
Who said that? Oh,
he's saying if.
No.
If they went over the top like that, which like I would get.
Right.
I would get them saying, like when you watch movies, you want to relate to somebody, and that's why a lot of people can relate to Peter Parker. He's just your average kid. He's got like regular problems. He has a job. He has rent to pay. Or when it comes to school.
Yeah. Now all of a sudden you want to add to the thing he doesn't know if he likes women or boys.
Exactly.
Oh my God! What am I gonna do? I like Kyle, but I like Teresa too.
Like I get people that want a character that they can relate to. I get that entirely.
Right.
But like I said before, to solve that, you make your own character. You don't take a pre-existing character and then change it around just for your benefits. You just make a whole new character. Like I said, like Miles Morales, a whole different character. Yes, same superpowers, little extra superpowers. Same idea, but a whole different character. Completely.
Right.
And I love Miles Morales. He's like I said, he's one of my favorite additions to Spider-Man.
He's one of the more popular of anything Spider-Man out there.
Yeah, and you got Gwen Stacy, who's also
and then there's Silk,
also
who's
very
Asian.
popular. Who?
And then there's Silk, who's Asian. She exists.
I don't know who Silk is, bro. I only seen Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
I'm not.
You did say you did a Marvel thing.
Yeah.
I got corrected.
Yeah.
Captain Marvel was the guy.
I was trying to help you.
You corrected me.
Oh man.
So now there's going to be a drama alert released on this channel about how we're like, sexist and homophobic. So yeah, there's that. So let's go back to the Mandalorian real fast. So I think we covered most of the things, and no, we did kind of cover
let's
like
cover
why
some of the news for season 2.
Yeah, season 2.
Well,
so
yeah.
Would you like to run point on the whole thing that has to do with the Clone Wars? Because I feel like that's your territory, because you were more into the Clone Wars than I was.
Wait, I'm confusion. Wait, what do you mean?
Well, you're saying the Clone Wars is going to be in this.
Ahsoka, dude.
Ahsoka.
Oh.
Yeah, I was just trying to let you run point on that.
Which I still can't see that actor playing that, but
I don't know. Yeah, let's talk about that real quick. How do we? Yeah, okay. So for everyone that doesn't know, live action Ahsoka is going to be in Mandalorian season 2. Now, let's say, what age would you say that she was in the first season of Clone Wars. Do you think maybe she was like 15, maybe?
She was 14,
okay,
and that would make her 17 at the end of the Clone Wars.
But here's the thing: do you guys really know how they age? Her species ages.
You got a point.
As far as we know, they age just as the same as humans. I think we did a little bit of research.
Yeah, we've seen her age throughout the Clone Wars. She seems to age normally, but at the same time, there could be, whatever there.
There could be a slight difference.
Could be. Because I would say like she looks like 17, and I don't know. She's an animation, so I can't really tell. Yeah, but, I would say she looks like she's supposed to be 17 at the end of the Clone Wars. So.
And then we said that she might be like in her 20s by Rebels, so maybe early 30s, maybe.
Right.
And if that's the case, then I said maybe she's, because I think we said the Empire era lasted 10 years, so maybe she might be in her 30s, early 40s by season 2 of The Mandalorian. But yeah, let's talk about that actor. You don't think it would be a very good fit?
Well, I know I've seen her in other stuff. I just can't picture her.
I haven't. Is she a good actor or?
Yeah, she's I don't know if you guys ever watched this show, Battlestar Galactica.
Oh, no, that's where she's from.
She was from the new one that came out a few years ago. But she played, what was her character? It was a guy in the first one, the very first original one that I grew up with. There was Apollo, which was his friend, and what was his name? And that's a shame, I can't remember his name. It was a famous name. But she played the guy part, and she played it very well. I didn't like how they took that show to where they took it. It was kind of weird, but anyway, and I've seen her in some other stuff, and I just can't see her playing Ahsoka. I just can't see it, but it could change.
Yeah, I mean, opinions can always change.
But every time I see her, though, I keep picturing a cigar in her mouth. Because that's what she had on the show. No, she would have a cigar. I was like, okay, have that.
Okay. Pretty badass.
Yeah.
Well, if she's badass enough to have a cigar in her mouth, she might be badass enough to play Ahsoka.
Yeah, she's pretty hot. I think she's pretty hot.
She's pretty hot.
Yeah. Notice he quieted his voice down a little bit.
I don't want the ma to come in here and smack me a few times.
Live on the podcast.
You said who? What?
Dude, that'd be a great
What are you talking about?
Great episode. One of the best.
It'd be the best episode.
There's fighting on the podcast.
I'd be saving that for our last bonus episode. I would release this last.
There's
go out with
divorce going on in our podcast.
I mean, we've been married over 20 years. She still gets jealous every once in a while. I never know, and I can tell you this: I'd never make a comment about a woman on TV because you get in very trouble. And you think it's okay, but it's not.
Gotta watch out.
Because I'll give you an example. I was watching. You ever watch the movie Wanted? With Angelina Jolie?
I think so.
Let me interrupt you.
Yes.
This is being uploaded to YouTube.
No. Well, that's fine. But,
okay.
But no.
Access to this.
Look, I'm a guy. I can talk about this. I'm saying
she has access to this.
Are you?
Okay, that's fine. No, because I got in trouble for it once. I'll be fine getting in trouble for it twice. But it was the whole scene where she came out of that
He's got
freaking... Yeah. She came out of that hot tub thing that heals them.
Oh, okay.
And she's got that tattoo on her back. Some people call them tramp stamps, whatever.
Tramp stamp.
When she got out of there and she was naked and you see her butt just about... All I did was go, And then I turn around and I go... And she's giving me that look like... And then she goes, what was that noise for? I don't know.
Man.
Yeah. You're talking about somebody being mad at me for days. Come on.
Oh, man.
But, it's funny. They can sit there and go, yeah, that guy's hot. Oh, man. Oh, yeah. Like, she loves, what's the Thor guy's name?
Speaking the truth.
Chris Hemsworth.
He's the truth.
I remember that.
I was like, hey, let's
time.
watch this new show on Netflix that he's got. It's called, what is it called? But it was good. But Chris Hemsworth.
Is it a new?
Yeah, and
okay.
It's on Netflix, but it's a new movie.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and she's like, yeah, let's watch that. I'm like, what the hell is that supposed to mean?
Yeah, I can't watch Thor with my mom anymore. It gets super creepy. Like any other one, like she'll make comments here and there. I'm like, okay, like I could get that, but once Chris Hemsworth gets on screen, I
she'll watch a Thor movie all day, but you tell her, hey, watch Doctor Strange.
She fell asleep during Doctor Strange. Just because Doctor Strange wasn't
Doctor Strange.
A Nordic god.
Wait to see that movie. Tristan, you know what I saw with Doctor Strange? We were in Spanish class. We had a substitute teacher. I got on my computer and started watching that the same day.
I think I remember that, but I didn't know.
Great school. Glad we paid a lot of money for you guys to go there. Yeah.
That school.
Well, we had a substitute. So we walked all over them, and not me per se, but more so everyone else.
Our class was horrible.
Pretty sure
bro.
John watched. Our class was horrible. For those of you who don't know, me and Tristan went to school together, so.
Which honestly, there was like some points where I was horrible too. Like in Miss Rose's class, for some reason, I was so impulsive.
Oh, definitely.
Every 5 seconds, she would like say something, and I would make like a joke about it. I don't know why. It was just like an impulse that I had, and just.
You talking about wide load?
No.
What? Yeah.
No. I did not act up in her class.
Close down the aisle. The one way now.
Get stuck in the doorway.
Dude, do we need to tell him what said?
Oh!
Of course, you're gonna have to bleep that name out.
Yeah, I'll definitely bleep that name out. You go ahead and tell him.
He said every time she would open her legs, it would be like the back of the PlayStation 4.
It was like so heated, and it was so sweaty that like the friction in between them would set like everything on fire, but the sweat would like immediately take out the fire.
Ooh, look like slime from Nickelodeon?
Yeah, like that.
Ew.
Sticky.
Ew.
Oh man, yeah, that was funny. He was very loud about that in the cafeteria.
Can I be honest with you?
What?
How do you have a rear that big and live?
I don't know how you live.
Even like get in bed. Like, how do you get out?
At some point, you're gonna get stuck in a doorway.
You're gonna get stuck.
Yeah, like.
Thank God, school had. Ready the horses.
Ready the horses.
Oh man. Oh man.
Yeah.
Let's talk some more rumors real quick, and then I think we might have covered everything.
Yeah, once we cover like a little bit of what we know about season 2, we'll cover about everything. I'm very sorry to our viewers that we went completely like off topic. So we'll go back into topic. You came here for the Mandalorian. So some of the rumors.
So, go ahead.
Some of the rumors confirmed. I don't know the actor's name. Do you know the actor's name? If you know the actor's name,
I just.
All right, you go ahead.
Tamura. Now, okay, don't be mad. I'm gonna frick it up. All right, I'm not gonna pronounce it correctly. Tamura Morrison as Boba Fett. He has been confirmed. It was a rumor, and now it has been confirmed that he will be playing Boba Fett in The Mandalorian Season 2. So we may get to see them fight. Also, if I can add this in real quick.
Okay.
There was supposed to be a 5th arc where it was Boba Fett and he had a hat and he was a bounty hunter and he was all of the Clone Wars. What was his name?
Cad
He
Bane.
was blue.
Cad Bane.
Cad Bane.
He's gonna be in it?
It was. Well, no. Because in this unfinished arc, I don't even know if he's alive, because in this unfinished arc, it showed him and Cad Bane, and they were in a Mexican standoff, and it showed how Boba Fett got that dent in his helmet, and they shot each other in the head. Of course, Boba Fett lived. You know, his helmet took on the impact of
but
that
Cad
gun.
Bane just got that
It's a
stupid
thick
hat.
Yeah, Cad Bane got killed. Yeah, so I mean,
That stupid hat
I
that he
don't
was
know
obsessed
what
with.
happened to Cad Bane. They already said that Aura Singh had died in, and she was a bounty hunter. They had
Right.
confirmed that she had died in Solo, and me and Tristan, we're doing a Star Wars marathon, so we had watched it maybe like last month with one of our
it
friends.
was probably like 2 weeks ago, and then like Alpha. Well, he won't complain if I plug in his YouTube channel, Alpha Scorch 62. We watched it with him, and we do a bunch of like gameplay stuff together. But like we watched it with him, and he literally would like leave every like 30 seconds to go use the bathroom.
He left for the first hour, and like I didn't go to bed till like 3 a.m. that night.
It was horrible, and it was just like we
Was
got
it
halfway
watching
through.
Solo?
Yeah, we were all
On
watching
Netflix.
Solo together, and we all had to pause it. And here's the thing: when you're doing watch parties like this, when like we're all like trying to synchronize our things, we all have to pause and make sure we're at the exact same second and everything. And then we all do that, and then like 15 minutes in, Alpha like says, "Oh, I paused it. I have to go pee." I'm like, you're watching a movie. You should have taken care of that. But go on, Jordan. I'm sorry. I interrupted you. Go
I'd hate
on.
to,
My bad.
no. I would have said it. Also, he is also rumored to play as Captain Rex. Now let that sink in, because Captain Rex technically is still alive. Because if you remember, he was in, the very end of Mandalorian season 2.
No, what do you mean?
Or
you might want to rephrase
sorry, Rebels. Rebels. It's getting late. He was
It's
in the
fine.
very end of Rebels. So,
that, and I think it's also
it's very
confirmed that
likely
he was
that
in the
he's
Battle
still
of
alive.
Endor. I think it's confirmed.
Yes, actually, that has been confirmed. It has been confirmed that
Yeah.
that is now canon.
Captain
But
Rex.
people
is in
already
the-
placed that together in their own heads anyway. So,
Of course.
I really like that, and
I like
would
that
love
too.
to see him play two people at the same time. Though I don't think Boba Fett's gonna take off his helmet. So,
Why wouldn't
I
you?
would actually like to hear him talk about his dad, because this is the way. That's something that you don't do,
Right, but did,
I mean, you
did he
watched
really?
Mandalorian.
I mean, I right, and I understand that, and I
Well,
told
he's
my
not
son
really
the
a
same way.
Mandalorian. He kind
Right,
of just
but-
stole the armor. Really, I
Well-
thought it was his
well-
dad's. In all honesty.
well, as his clone. He just
Right.
chose not to
Right.
have him, genetically advanced to grow like the other ones did and all that other stuff. But his dad, like I said, their creed, they're not supposed to take off the helmet. But yet,
Right.
Jango Fett did.
Yeah, he.
You know what I
did,
mean?
and
Like
they-
he, like
And they also
didn't
made
follow
that
the
mistake.
Wasn't
rule.
he an outcast?
Yeah,
Well,
he
that's what I'm
was
saying,
an
and
outcast.
Boba Fett would be too.
Which they did make that
Was-
mistake in the Clone Wars when they had Death Watch to take off their helmets. That was a
Yeah,
sheer
yeah.
mistake
Okay.
there. But like with Jango
Was
Fett, he was
Death
like an
Watch
outcast.
Or no?
What?
Was Jango Fett Death Watch?
I don't
or
think
no?
Jango Fett wasn't Death Watch, because Death Watch was purely for like the Creed, and the Creed was basically being like a warrior race. The reason why Death Watch was
Going
made
back
was
to how
because-
before politics. That's
Exactly.
about it.
When Duchess Satine started being like, "Oh, we should be pacifists." That's why Death Watch was made.
Right.
So
And her sister was part of it, and she didn't really believe in her ideals.
Yeah, which honestly, like, I
Right.
started watching a random episode, and I actually went to around there because you know how much of a fan of Maul I am. I was like, okay, she was literally going to kill her sister. Like, that's pretty messed up. But
Yeah. She
or
wouldn't
at least
have,
or at least help,
she
or
wouldn't
at
have-
least help. I don't think she was going to directly kill her, but she was definitely like plotting against her. And the guy definitely wanted her dead,
When you see
Right.
you guys talking about this, I want to see Clone Wars now.
Yeah, there's so many.
Oh,
There's so
But
many.
see, now, did they kill off?
Watch it with
If they kill, did they kill off the Death Watch in Clone Wars?
I don't want to spoil that for
No.
you.
Wait, yes? In all
There-
honesty, that answer can
It's
neither be
very-
confirmed nor
it's
denied because
very
I don't
vague.
even remember.
So if you don't care about spoilers, some people died. Others, it wasn't clear. Because like the leader of Death Watch and Maul, they got into their own like little scuffle, and they competed to.
Which was a very good fight.
It was a very good fight. They basically fought each other to the death to rule Mandalore, and as you probably already know, Maul won because Maul's the greatest Sith around, in my opinion.
He's the best.
Around, yeah.
Vader.
Yeah, but
What?
like Vader turned back to the light side. Maul never turned to the light side. He had no ties to the light. Let's be honest.
Vader. Who else could choke somebody across the universe? Huh?
If you saw some of the stuff that Maul did in season 7, you might.
Can it-
change
we
your
You
mind.
got a hard
I
thing to
wanna
tell
tell-
me
I
because
wanna
you
tell-
saw how excited I got in Rogue One. When
Right.
Vader came out.
Yeah.
You know, fire!
No,
He
no,
just
that
tore
was
everybody
one of
up.
the most hardest. That was one of the most hardest and most badass scenes I've ever seen
It really
of Darth
was.
Vader. That was comic book version Darth Vader.
He
Comic
tore him
book
up.
Darth Vader.
He was
so
dead.
badass.
The one thing that got me
He
was
stuck
when he.
his-
Sorry, go on.
Go ahead.
The one thing.
Go first.
One thing that got me was once they cut to like that one guy screaming, trying to get out the door, and then they open the door. And
Yeah.
turns out you see the lightsabers through him and cut through the door
Yeah.
too. It was just like, oh crap. Okay.
That's exactly what I was just going to say. That's the most badass thing I've ever seen. That's comic book Darth Vader right there. Because, see, you know, when he's fighting Luke, you know, he realizes. Oh,
Well,
that's
come
my
on, look
older
at
son.
the age of the
So
son,
there's a
though.
little bit of.
I mean,
There's a little bit of him in there, you know, still. Yeah, and I get it, you know, the time, and, you know, they might not have really made comic books on it that much.
I mean,
back then.
right, and
No.
I gotta say, just watching like the original Star Wars that I grew up with, the whole fight scene between him and Obi-Wan was nothing
Right.
compared to like Revenge of the Sith. You know what I mean? 'Cause
Yeah.
when you see the two, like, I gotta say this since we're talking about that, the best fight scene ever Jedi that I think was between Obi-Wan and Anakin
On Mustafar.
on Mustafar.
That was
That was-
Did you listen
that
to the
was-
soundtrack?
That
the
was awesome.
soundtrack is so good to it.
Ryan Johnson.
Which honestly, someone did.
I just said Ryan Johnson. You're gonna have to sleep that out. I want to kill myself.
You
I meant
said
John
Ryan
Williams,
Johnson.
damn
You're
it.
gonna get kicked off this podcast. You think Ryan Johnson was
I
responsible?
want you to delete that out of there.
I got
I'm
you.
kind of tired because
I
I
got
got
you.
to say John freaking Williams. I was listening to it on the way home. Actually,
But
I was
there is-
listening to Vader's Betrayal.
Oh shoot! Yeah, I listen to battle
Or
videos
Anakin
all the
Betrayal.
time. Once in like I'm getting ready, I gotta get pumped up to get to go to Amazon and do what I gotta do there. Little you know.
So you're saying the soundtrack is
Duel
awesome?
the Fates, huh?
The soundtrack? for
Dude,
that
the
is-
soundtrack.
The
yeah.
soundtrack for like most of the soundtrack for the Anakin and Obi-Wan fight was
You-
amazing. It was Battle of the
Yes.
Heroes, but in the actual movie they cut in a part of Duel of the Fates when they were in that like little hallway.
Yeah.
They cut that in like as soon as like you know Anakin kicked Obi-Wan in the face. It was just like that just cut in. It was just I don't know. The music hit really, you know. I want to say differently, but it hit hard.
It hit differently.
It really did. But yeah, there
Hey,
is
what's
a
another good one?
rendition of that whole fight scene in episode 4 that's on YouTube right now. They redid it. I'm pretty sure Jordan showed it to me. I think it was like
Yes.
was it SC some kind of
Are we-
number. I'll link it down
Are we
below.
talking about so we are talking about Revenge of the Sith
No,
and
right
not
now.
episode 4.
No, right now I'm talking about episode 4, where like the fan.
Okay, that's what I thought.
It was a fan made
That's what I thought.
version of the fight.
Yes.
I'm gonna have to show
That
you
was
later.
it was
amazing.
very, very good.
Yeah,
and
the
I
dude
really
was on
think
fire.
that-
He did not care. he just kept going through.
Because in all honesty, they showed him how he could move. You see everybody, they're all so stiff and everything.
Right.
Granted,
and there wasn't that much.
It was the
70s.
There wasn't that much
70s,
they could do back then.
And you gotta understand, back in the 70s, I was 6 years old when that movie came out, and actually watching it on the thing was like, you are the marble. That's what got me hooked.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it was like, and honestly,
Yeah,
that's what got Tristan hooked. When he was, like I said, that rainy day, it was like, I was home, he was there, it was like, hey, what are we gonna do? It's raining. Hey, let's watch Star Wars. And he's like, hey, what's that? I popped it in, and boom, he wanted to watch the next one, and then he wanted to watch the next one. It was like, okay.
Yeah, here we are, many years later. I'm running a Star Wars podcast.
Yeah, dude.
With some guy like lives an hour away from me.
But even to him, what I'm saying is, even to him as a 4-year-old, seeing that was like, wow. You know, like, to me it was wow. You know, and I gotta say,
I remember which one I started with. In all honesty, I definitely remember going to see episode 3 in the movie theaters with my grandmother, of all people. Okay, let's do this.
Yeah, I remember seeing episode 3 as well. I'll never forget the opening scene to episode 3 because that was.
Oh, it's yes.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. We were like, one of the best scenes out of all the movies was Revenge of the Sith. The opening scene, that was just so. It was awesome. It gave me chills. Just like the drum roll, graphic, right? And the ships crossing each other, and they're going fire, fire. You know, and they're just crap is blowing up everywhere. It's like
and you just see all the clones, and they're all like working together and using big guns and crap, and it's just great.
It is.
I'm glad that they made the Clone Wars, because if they didn't, in all honesty, I realize that we're not even talking about the Clone Wars right now, but I'm just saying, like, I'd like to add on, like, speaking about clones real quick, I'm glad that they added the Clone Wars and made it, because I feel like it gives the franchise a texture. If I'm going to be honest with you.
It definitely added a lot of character to the clones, because that whole and cover
your
your
dad
ears
hasn't seen it. He's gonna love it.
Cover your ears if you don't want like a spoiler or anything. But that whole thing with like Rex during the 11th episode of that season 7, which honestly at this point in the podcast you probably already know what happened, so I'm not gonna re-explain so I don't spoil it for my dad. That was heartbreaking. Like, I literally like cried
if he's
when that
gonna
happened.
Watch this series, I will rewatch it with him.
It's so.
I will give you my Disney Plus. Actually, you already have my Disney Plus. So.
That's right.
Yeah. But yeah, that whole thing with Rex, like, you could just see, he's just not a mindless. Now afterwards, yeah, he did turn to like a mindless person hunting down the Jedi, but you could see the resistance and the sorrow in there. It's just so. It's.
I cried.
I did too, bro. We were both crying. We were both crying. You have no idea. It was bad, because like when you see Order, I don't want to spoil it for you, but I can't.
That's fine. I'll watch it. I'm just saying, but I got up to the 3rd season and stopped watching it.
Yeah, because like the whole Clone Wars is basically an anthology. It's most of it's an anthology. It's random war stories. There's only some things in there that are a relevant story, on like
now
ongoing story.
When you get, I was gonna get ready to say, let us know when you get to Corel on what was that planet? It was like started with an U. It was like, it wasn't Utapau. It was like.
Are you talking about the Citadel?
No, not the Citadel. I'm talking about General Krell. He's got 4 arms, 2 blue lights. They're
Oh, that guy! Yeah, I don't remember the planet. I'm gonna be honest with you, but that was horrible.
It started with a U. I actually cried that.
I called what was happening like midway through, and I'm like, "There's no way this dude's doing that." And when they actually revealed at the end what he was doing, I'm like, "You gotta be kidding me!" But yeah, it's
right.
But yeah, like throughout the entire Clone Wars, like you get to know Fives, you get to know Echo, especially you get to know Captain Rex. They're not just mindless soldiers. They have a personality. Right. Each one has a personality. Even the very first episode of the Clone Wars, Yoda was like,
rewatch it. He's got to rewatch it because you can't just start back from season 3. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry, but I'm gonna make you take that back and watch all of them.
He's gonna spend most of his life watching through 7 seasons of the Clone Wars. I just think
you should have started like during quarantine. Frick.
Started during quarantine. But no, it's just like even in the very first episode, you know, Yoda came to each of the, like, I think there was like 5 clones with him, and named them and said, "This is your strength. You're different from everyone else." And then, "This is your strength. You're different from everyone else." Right. Of course, it was a lot more detail into that, but it's just they're not the same person. They are the same person, but they're not. They all have their own separate personality. Yeah, it just gives them, I don't know, just a sense of humanity, even if they are genetic clones, just breeded for a war that, you know, they had
no choice.
Yeah, no choice to getting into. And it's just, I don't know.
And it's to quote Rex in season 7, I think it was season 7, without the war we wouldn't exist.
Yeah, he said we clones had mixed feelings about the war. Some people wished it would never have happened, but without it, us clones wouldn't exist. And then Ahsoka said that there was some good that came out of it, since he did, you know, end up existing because she had a good friend and a good friend. She used another word for friend. But yeah, that was. Yeah, the whole Clone Wars, just like, because like in the movies you don't really see that, like, you know, clones being humanized all that much. Like you see like a good personal relationship with Obi-Wan and Cody. You know, they're like joking around. Obi-Wan saying like, "Yeah, I'll make sure to leave some battle droids for you guys, you know, by the time you arrive." And you're just like, you know, kind of joking around. They have some type of personal relationship. But as soon as Order 66 pops up, that's done. You know, Cody's just like, you see an anti-air gun, blast him. It's like, there was no hesitance. There was no
blast that piece of garbage out of the sky.
Pretty much. And it's just like, you only see like a few seconds of the clones, you know, just being humanized. It was just the one clone that ended up just shooting at Kenobi without any hesitation whatsoever. So the Clone Wars just added a different like layer of character for all the clones. Which, another thing, going back to the Mandalorian really quick, this actor being in the Mandalorian.
I have one. Go ahead.
This actor being...
go ahead.
Who's going? Jordan.
Go ahead.
This actor being in the Mandalorian opens up for any clone to be in there, because there was multiple clones. So you had like Gregor and Wolf,
you're right,
who survived and removed their inhibitor chips. You know, it doesn't just open up Rex. It doesn't just open up. Well, Boba Fett is confirmed, but it doesn't just open up Rex. It doesn't open up, you know, just it opens up any clone, really.
So you're saying in the new episode 2, some of these guys might be in there?
It's very possible.
You know what I just realized? I totally forgot.
Sorry,
I was about to say, I totally forgot that... Oh wait, never mind, I just fixed it in my head. I was going to say, I totally forgot that Boba Fett for a second was a clone. Yeah. But that he was a young clone, and that Rex was already, like, fully grown.
Well...
and Boba Fett was, like, still a boy.
Right, because... in the movie, The Clone Wars, you heard Jango Fett, he's a clone, but he, what are those people called? The ones that were real tall, skinny.
Samoans.
Right.
Samoans.
He said he didn't want him to have the growth serum, whatever, and didn't want to be genetically alternate. Right, he didn't want him to be altered. He just wanted him cloned, and he would raise him as a kid, you know what I mean, as a boy.
Yeah. He
didn't have that where they wanted to make those thousands of clones. They had to make them grow fast.
Yeah, because they were being prepared for a war, like a few years later.
Does he know about the thing in the head?
The inhibitor chip? Do you know
at a certain time they die?
No. The inhibitor chip.
No.
So basically,
Do we want to tell him?
I feel like if he's gonna watch the Clone Wars,
Nah, don't tell me. Don't tell me.
You sure? Because there's some things you may not
respect
understand.
You've got to respect him.
All right, I'll respect his wishes. But it's definitely a little like, yeah. I think we covered.
Well, we can just say this. We can say this. Order 66 basically is like a password, right? It turns them all against the Jedi. Boba Fett obviously wasn't because he was unaltered.
Right.
So, and then I was.
But he had a good reason to hate the Jedi, though.
Oh, he did. But
he did.
He's different from all
his
the
father
other.
Died.
Right.
Yeah.
And you'll
he's not
see
a
why. You'll
clone
see
of the
why.
Grand Army.
You'll see why. I just wanted to add in one more rumor, and then I think we might be set. There was now I gotta look up her name. I'm so professional.
Very professional.
Okay, so Satine's sister. Hold on, you can just fix this. So Satine's sister, Bo-Katan, Krezi, or whatever.
Definitely killed that name. you definitely killed that name.
No, Bo-Katan. I just can't pronounce her last name. Bo-Katan.
Freaking Yu Hakusho. What is this?
It's Bo.
Oh, Bo-Katan.
Katan. Okay, slap you. Bo-Katan.
Bo-Katan?
Yeah.
Sorry, go on. I'm done.
I'm gonna get Alden in here.
No,
Bo-Katan.
Alden's playing Minecraft right now. Tristan!
You're so mean.
Why am I in this cave, Tristan? Tristan!
He's gonna kill us. If he watches the podcast, he's gonna kill us. But go on,
I'm
George.
gonna send him a link. I'm gonna send him a link, and I'm gonna tell him to go to this. Go whatever number this is.
127.
Yeah. Tell him to stop going through the caves, trying to make little sheep. What's his little zombie things called?
Houses.
This is zombies.
Zombies.
Yeah. Running from the zombies.
Zombie things called.
Justin, what I do?
Oh, okay.
What I do, Justin? Stop it! Making fun of me.
Stop killing me.
Yeah, stop.
The other day he died from height damage.
That's because you told him to go like above the clouds in your little like makeshift elevator. You're like, yeah, jump off, he'll be fine. Just jump off in this certain direction.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what he did. He jumped off. He jumped off, and he died. He's like, oh, it's 3 blocks away from the water. Well, that sucks.
Yeah, should wore a parachute.
Parachute.
Anyway, so
GTA. Anyways, real quick. So apparently, Bo-Katan, the voice actor for her, she's in Rebels and she's also in Clone Wars, as we've already said before. The voice actor is supposed to actually play a live-action version of her in the actual show. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know what
I don't know
they're
how I
planning.
feel about
She's
that.
also she's also a Mandalorian. So,
Because
I don't know what they're gonna do or anything.
Well, what was
But
the
she is
girl,
Mandalorian.
the Mandalorian, the girl that was the, basically a blacksmith?
Queen?
Is that her name?
Oh.
The one that made the
Black
armor?
Queen? We don't
black
actually know.
I don't
We
think
don't
that was
actually
her.
know.
Though.
Because I
Who
got,
she is.
right, see, and I gotta say, she was pretty badass.
Yeah, she was.
No, she definitely was.
I mean...
Don't let the mom hear you.
What'd you say?
Hey, I'm an
I said,
adult.
don't let the mom hear you.
I'm an adult.
Adult.
I can say what I want.
I'm an
When she's not around.
Yeah.
Yo, my sister just asked me for a link to the podcast. I'm not sure how I feel about that because I'm pretty sure. I don't know.
What, just now?
Yeah, just now it's like she texted me on the phone. It's like, hey, send me a link to your podcast.
Send me your business.
It's like, yeah.
Honestly, she can help us out because she's got a bunch of friends, but
yeah, but at the same time, she's gonna sit there and make fun of us. Which
yeah, she's got a bunch of friends, and we just make fun of Miss. Ain't good. You know what they call me?
Okay, stop saying that last name because people are already.
I can bleep it out. Don't worry. Editing magic. That's the
I'm sorry.
beauty of not going live.
Somebody teach us somebody.
Hourglass.
Yeah, I know hourglass.
Freaking.
That's a day glass.
You know what? You used to call her
day glass.
You used to call her. He used to call her Flat Stuff Flounder. You remember that character from SpongeBob with the wide hips?
No.
The giant one?
Yes. I remember. It's just, I'm like, why?
Hey, listen.
Bubble bath.
The dude was a jerk, but he was funny. Alright.
Dude, bubble bath.
I don't even want to picture that.
Oh.
That's a whole lot of bubbles.
Not that kind of bubble bath.
What? I don't even want to ask. Our viewers and ourselves don't need to know what's going through your sick, twisted head, Jordan.
Dude, Miss was hot.
I'll tell you what's going on with it.
Oh, you did not just say that, Jordan. You hear what he said?
I'm just joking. I'm joking.
No, I don't know about one, Chief.
Yeah, you ever get the urge and you don't want it anymore, just take a look at that. Oh, yeah. Just went down.
Oh, man.
But,
You know who was hot, though? You know who was hot, though? Miss...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that, like, I agree, but at the same time, I had my dad sitting across from me, so, like, like, yeah.
Listen, Dad, I'm gonna tell you right now. She had the hips of a goddess. I'm gonna let you know that right now. And she always wore skirts. And high heels. What? And all black. Like what?
You want me to bleep this out for you, Jordan?
What more could you get? You can just scramble all this. It's just nonsense. So.
Oh man.
Too bad those bitch ass freaking like 7th graders had to get her kicked out of her school though because they what'd they say? She said they said that she touched one of them or something inappropriately, which was a total lie.
Right.
Which was a total lie. They just didn't like her teaching methods, which, if anything, I learned more from her than I do from the freaking Hispanic lady now. And the lady now is actually Hispanic. Miss Loveland only spent like 2 years in college in Puerto Rico. You know, this lady's actually Hispanic, but she doesn't teach. Like, I hate to say it, but she doesn't teach at all. We learned from, but this lady is full on Hispanic, and we didn't learn anything from her. She had us freaking coloring pages, like color this and the row, and I'm like, that's red, you bitch. And I'm like, I know what that color is. I'm like, I can't. Like I don't know what yellow is in Spanish. I don't remember that, but like I'm pretty sure I'll figure it out.
Oh,
it's just
man.
This stuff is stupid. What are you having us do? But anyways.
Oh yeah, that's definitely our little like side project for Friday uploads, Jordan. This is some good stuff for that. I'm gonna be dead.
Oh, it's very good stuff for that.
What stuff is that? Talking about hot teachers in
What
school? Oh, she was hot.
I just realized how bad that looked on his level. No. Our side.
I don't care what you're teaching. Just stand up there and look.
No. What we're thinking.
That's what he's talking about. He didn't learn anything. He was just staring at her skirt and the black heels.
I'm sorry. Let me elaborate for you so you don't think I'm doing anything weird, okay? So, we're not entirely sure the details of us doing this yet. So if this makes it to the podcast, don't
even know what we're doing.
Don't take my word for it.
What?
Our idea was to tell random stories from. I almost said the name of the place. the school that we both came from.
Some people, Mr. Wayne, just want to watch the world burn. It's not about the money.
No.
It's about sending a message.
See, he's good with that, but like every time that he tried to quote Sidious during our
The dark side is unnatural.
yeah, he would get halfway through that quote. He would get halfway through that quote. He's like, the dark side is
Skywalker.
Yeah.
like he couldn't think of it. He just got like unnatural. Like Jordan, come on. Bro.
Can I just like what is your favorite quote? I just want to ask you this.
Well,
the original trilogy. What is your favorite quote?
Favorite quote out of the original trilogy? Out of the original trilogy? Or
Yep.
like just okay? That's. Can I go last? Because I need to think about that one for
I
a
can go
hot
first.
second. All right, go on.
My favorite quote is episode 6, The Jedi Returns, where, Sidious is like, strike me down, fulfill your destiny. And he's like, never. I will never turn to the dark side. You failed, Your Highness. I am a Jedi, like my father before me. And I was like, yeah, that's so badass. And then of course, he's just like, then you die.
Then you'll die. Skywalker.
Then young Master Skywalker,
I don't
you
really
die.
have too much of a favorite quote as far as like I have a favorite conversation. The conversation, and I guess I'm cheating here a little bit, but like conversation between Luke and Vader on Endor when he was just like telling him,
Oh.
"Hey, you were Anakin Skywalker," and he just turned to him
That
like
name
pure
has
anger.
no more meaning.
Yeah, that
to me.
name means nothing to me. And then he just kept on trying
Right.
to persuade him. He's like, I could feel the conflict in you. He said, there is no conflict. And it was just,
Yes.
that whole, I guess you would say that there is no conflict is my favorite quote from the original trilogy, but
Just
I
that
just,
whole
I just like that
thing
whole
is
conversation.
Yeah.
It's just.
I like it. I like it, especially
Yeah.
when he's like, where he's like, there is no more hope for me, son. And he called him
it's
son too.
Yeah, it's too late for me, son. That was like.
Oh yes.
That was like I think that was like the final word in that. Well, no, that wasn't the final word, but that was one of the final words in that whole conversation. That was just like kind of made you think like, oh, he's coming back just a little bit, but he's lost hope. But he wants to come back.
Yes.
But he believes that he can't.
Right.
But yeah, what was your favorite quote if you have one?
I have two.
Okay.
And my first one is old
That's
school. It's old school. I love the whole, and again, maybe it's not a quote, but the whole conversation when Luke found out that Vader was his father.
Yeah. That was.
The whole search your feelings. It's true. The whole me and you together will rule the galaxy as father and son. It was kind of like, right.
Yeah.
It was like, wow. Okay, but him wanting him to join him.
Right. There was
both of us together can defeat the Emperor.
Yeah.
Right.
It was like, wow. And the only other one is from one of the new ones, the whole traitor. The whole, and he brought out that freaking electric baton. It was like, yeah.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of like that.
Yeah, he's talking about the stormtrooper.
Right.
He's not talking about Kylo. He's talking about the stormtrooper.
That's
Now,
true.
That was awesome. I love that. Traitor.
My favorite quote from the sequels is like anything that Kylo says during The Last Jedi.
Kylo Ren
I'll be
says,
honest with you, The Last Jedi, when he was
N-word.
just screaming, that was something though. But
What?
when he was just, he said, there's a video out there where Kylo, remember like in The Force Awakens when he called Finn a traitor?
Right.
There's an edit out there where he actually calls him the N-word. They
Because
took it
it's from an
another
actual movie.
No,
Yeah.
Where
No,
he
they
actually-
took it from another movie.
Yeah, Adam Driver.
Yeah, and
Adam Driver
hard
actually
R and
says the
everything.
N-word, and yes.
Yeah, hard R and everything.
Look it up. It's in the Black
It looked
Klansman.
so it was called Black
It's
Klansman. Black like with
it was
3 Ks. Yeah, it was completely real. That like they didn't alter anything whatsoever. It was just they just switched him saying the N-word and switched it with traitor. It was just a simple edit.
Of course, they had to give him the pass. It's like in the background, right?
Oh yeah, there was definitely a black man on set that gave him the N-word pass. You know,
but only one, just in case things got out of control.
He only gave him one pass. That was it.
We're not being racist, like I swear.
But
I have plenty of black friends.
That's what every racist says. especially a racist on the internet. But no, they just edited it to where it looked like Kylo Ren called Finn the N-word with a hard R. It was just like, okay.
Yes, and then you see Finn look all mad, and then
he looks so angry.
The lightsaber.
Oh man,
it was so funny.
But my favorite quote from the sequels is just anything that Kylo says, or yells.
Oh yeah, I'd have to agree with that. Or yells, "Blow that piece of garbage out of the sky."
My favorite one is more. Because there's so many memes with it.
So there's this video. This is for both of you. Where you're at Olive Garden as soon as the quarantine ends, and it's just them shredding cheese over your salad. More.
That's gonna be me. More. That's gonna be me. But yeah, it's just.
Kylo Ren did have issues. I mean, come on, man. You're beating on your chest.
Yeah,
you're slicing the freaking room up. And you wonder why everybody's going, "Oh my God, I want to be near him."
You know why he was crazy, right? You guys know why he was crazy, right?
No,
it was because he was carrying the entire franchise on his back.
He really was. He was like one of the best. I'll be honest with you. Like Daisy Ridley, I didn't like her acting too much. I think it was just a little.
I kind of liked her.
Daisy Ridley's like a 6 out of 10 for me. I'll be honest with you.
In terms of acting, or in terms of like, what are you talking about? Because
her acting can be like a 2.
Oh, okay. You're okay.
Yeah, he's true there. Yeah. Hell, it could have been a 1.
Don't let the wife hear you.
We're not even going into our whole little list. Yeah. Which, by the way, Alpha has the worst list, but I'm going to keep it there.
Alpha has the worst list.
He does have the worst. He put freaking Leia on 7. What is that? Yeah, that's just.
What? Are you serious?
Yes. This dude that we're with, he put young Leia on number 7.
You know why she's in my top 2, right? Because she never wore underwear in the original trilogy. Because George Lucas said there's no underwear in space.
Which you know what his intentions were with that. You know what he was doing.
Oh, yeah.
That was complete bull crap right there. All right, he just wanted a little,
Have you guys seen the summer photos where it's like her, Chewbacca, and Darth Vader, and they're like it looks like they're on a beach. Just look it up. Look up fun pictures with Darth Vader, and Princess Leia, and I'm pretty sure you'll see them.
Jordan.
It's not weird. It's not.
It is weird. Sure Darth Vader was his father.
Yeah, that is kind of weird. If I decided to look that up, I'm going to put on a VPN and go to the public library and use their Wi-Fi.
It's not like that.
I was about to say, Chewie didn't wear anything.
Oh, don't put that.
Oh no!
What do you got underneath that print?
Oh man.
Okay. Kira is like his number 3 or something from Solo.
Kira's my number 1. I'll be honest with you.
She's one of my. She would be my number 1. Leia would be my number 2.
Yeah, same.
Padme would be my number 3, and then.
Yeah. Sorry, this got weird for you.
I kind of like General Akbar.
Hey, that's what you're into.
Big eyes.
It's a trap.
I love you, Jordan. It's a trap.
trap.
You dumb bastards. You threw us right into a trap.
Oh my gosh.
We're all gonna die!
I have to end it with this. We're all gonna burn! Okay. Okay.
We're all gonna die!
Okay, that was a
Because
quote.
I can see it!
That was a quote from season 7, and I can't
I can
watch it.
Yeah, I can see
Right.
it a little bit.
So, there was a funny clip, and they edited in. It was where it was like, guys. So Disney is like in Hollywood or wherever there. Guys, this movie's PG-13. You know what that means? We get one curse word. Use it correctly. This is for episode 3. F you, Anakin. I have the high ground. It was so good.
Oh man, yeah, that was a pretty good one. Yeah, I love how our Mandalorian episode turned into a little bit of everything.
Dude, we've been on here for like 2 hours. I think we should
almost
end it now.
almost 2 hours. This has been our longest and most productive episode.
It is a
honestly.
bonus episode, yeah. So this is a bonus episode.
We've
guys,
done,
so, you know,
we've done pretty good. So, you know, is there any final points you want to say, Jordan?
Yeah, like what do you hope to see in
good.
season 2?
Yeah. What are you hoping to see exactly?
Are you asking me?
Yeah, you.
Oh, for, well, yeah, that's right. You didn't.
Hey,
I'm.
What do you think, Odin?
Oh.
I'm definitely looking forward to seeing the Darksaber and hearing more about why Gustavo Fring, leader of the chicken franchise in Breaking Bad, has the Darksaber. That's really the only thing that's on top of my mind right now. And seeing the live action Ahsoka so I can talk shit about it. But in all honesty, I'm hoping that they do good. They can't screw this up. They've got like 6 great directors, probably some of the best makeup artists I've ever seen. Like what's his face? That one dude from episode 2 or episode 1. What was his name? His name was Nick Noletti. He played as the alien dude on that planet. And the only reason why I know his name.
You can back up a little bit.
Okay,
There's many aliens. We're talking about Star Wars.
You're talking about the guy that rode
Nick.
the two-legged little things.
beast.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. My bad.
I like this too.
Nick Nolte. Yeah, he's actually a very good actor. The makeup is actually really freaking good in my opinion, and you know they've got the greatest like makeup artists, special effects, as we've seen. Like when I saw those X-wings, it reminded me of episodes like 4, 5, and 6. I was like, holy crap, this is beautiful. You know, like I was like, it's been so long since I've seen an X-wing. It really brought me back to my childhood. I'll be honest.
The last time we saw an X-wing was Star Wars Resistance, but I'm gonna keep that there.
That's true. Yeah, we're not.
Well, you're right there. That's what I told Tristan. He can tell you that I said the same thing. The makeup. My only complaint about the whole special effects and makeup was IG-11. There were some scenes in the last episode kind of was like cheesy looking. Like, dude, you went all out on makeup and the special effects, and you made that look like, I don't know, like
a walking stick figure.
Yeah, I was like, what? You gotta be kidding me. It was kind of a disappointment, but then it wasn't. You know what I mean? It was like, but I agree.
I'm just glad we finally got to see a live action IG unit, in all honesty.
Right.
Because those things are badass.
But
they really were, especially when he first opened in on the first episode. He just started slaying everyone.
But he looked good. It looked good.
It did look good.
But the last episode, when they were showing full body shots of him, it was like, dude, that looks like freaking cat and dog. The Nickelodeon cartoon. Like, what is this? Well, like I was watching Homer Simpson
so
or
glad
something.
he knows that show.
What, cat dog?
So yeah,
cat dog. But
he just keeps saying it.
no.
Yeah, man, the cat dog. Yeah, the cat dog.
So, so what I hope to see in this new season is the Grey Jedi Order. I want to see Ahsoka being in the Grey Jedi Order.
Yes.
And then
Yes.
Baby Yoda being like put into the Grey Jedi Order, because like Luke, like I already explained this to you, Jordan. It's like the Jedi, they're not. Well, none of the religions are perfect, but I feel like the Grey Jedi, they follow in basically the gray area of right and wrong, where they're just.
Do you think Grey Jedi are still alive?
Yeah, there's a whole arc in Rebels about it, but we haven't reached that far yet.
Oh shit.
So I don't know if they got wiped out or not, but either way, I know that Ahsoka is a Grey Jedi, and there's a Grey Jedi Order somewhere like underground, basically. I don't know where. So there is a Grey Jedi Order, and Ahsoka is a Grey Jedi, but I don't know if she's officially part of the Order. We haven't gotten that far in Rebels yet.
Right.
But I want to see that. I want to see her part of the Grey Jedi Order. I want to see Baby Yoda, and there's no other name for it. I hate saying Baby Yoda because I heard just Baby Yoda ever since the Mandalorian came out.
Yeah.
I already complained on the Lore podcast. It was bad. But yeah, I would like to see. Sorry.
I said they're starting to make toys.
No, burn them all. So
I wouldn't mind buying a Funko Pop though.
If you buy a Funko Pop,
Baby
I'm gonna
Yoda.
melt it.
No.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, the little guy was kind of funny in the last episode.
Oh, you're talking about Bubba Free?
No, Baby Yoda.
Wait.
Baby Yoda. Oh. I get confused.
That scene was great too. I kind of like that with the bikers, with the, hey, let me see it.
That was actually
No.
good.
So this is when they pulled out like the guns and started like trying to shoot that little can
And they
thing.
couldn't hit it.
They couldn't get it.
Can't shoot.
Yeah.
Couldn't hit it.
It was a good
really,
inside
really
joke.
That made my day.
But yeah, I want to see Baby Yoda get into the Grey Jedi Order, and because like when they said find who it
Maybe
belongs
Ahsoka takes
with,
it.
I knew that it was supposed to feel like find its species, but I just felt like it find whatever would understand it and like its power, and the only person, not Luke, because like let's be honest here. Kylo killed all of Luke's students, so we don't want Baby Yoda to die.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was like that's like that whole like little thing like you sent me, Jordan. There was like these younglings in the Clone Wars. You saw them like moments before Order 66. Yeah, it was a sad picture of all these younglings that said, "Oh, these kids are dead now." It's just like you don't want. You know what I mean? Like we could joke around the younglings, but like
Give me going.
What about that? What about that other one where it was like, I'm finally on episode or season 7, and just moments away before seeing this guy kill some kids again.
Oh man, yeah. There was another meme where it said it had like a sad face on it. It was like when you realize Order 66 is about to happen, and then also like one that was like really happy is like when you realize we're gonna have another youngling killing scene. They're super excited for it. It's so the fan base is so messed up.
And all he wanted to do was eat mac and
Battlefront 2.
cheese.
Wait, what was your name? I'm sorry. Wait. Okay, what do I call you again? Okay, Dad.
You forgot my name already. I like your name. No, you don't.
It started with a C.
Carl.
Chris.
Carl.
You said it.
Okay.
Carl. Where's Carl?
Carl.
Now we're going to The Walking Dead. I'm gonna stop.
That's right.
I'm gonna stop.
All right.
Where's Carl? We gotta save Carl.
Damn, you guys.
I
totally forgot what I was gonna say.
Okay.
Oh yes, never mind.
What do you hope for?
No, shut up.
You tell me to shut up.
Okay,
Alright.
so in Star Wars Battlefront 2, they remade a game.
Yeah, he
for
played
like
it.
2017. Okay, so no, the newer one.
Yeah, the newer one. He's played both of them.
Okay.
I could whoop him in both.
Some people have made mods where it's youngling hunt. It's a game mode where you play as Anakin and you play on Naboo and you go around killing kids.
Yeah, I've seen that. They made like they'll attack you too. They got the little lightsabers. Though.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, what?
So someone made a mod where you're just Anakin killing younglings.
Oh my.
And they're just running around. Speaking of which, have you seen the picture where it's like, Master Skywalker, there's too many of us. What are you gonna do?
Oh, they all had they all had lightsabers out. They stabbed him. Oh man, but yeah, that's
or that time when Evan McGregor said he killed younglings. I saw on a hologram that he killed younglings, and he had to hold his mouth because he couldn't stop laughing.
Yeah, that's a fact. He couldn't. Ewan McGregor could not deliver that line without laughing for some reason. Every time that he said, "I saw on my hologram killing younglings," he always like smiled or laughed. So like when he did this like little take, he was saying killed younglings. That he was literally just hiding a smile, and like once you know that when you watch Revenge of the Sith, you kind of see him like
Smart.
Yeah, it was.
Me and Tristan rewatched episode 3 at the very night that we watched the last episode of season 7, and we were like, "This is where it happened." He starts smirking.
Oh man. But yeah.
Or there's this. Sorry, go ahead. I'm done. I need to stop with the
yeah. Like I said, we've been going for 2 hours. I'm pretty sure he wants to go to sleep.
Got 2 minutes.
So anyway,
yeah,
we're gonna close off with yeah, you'll probably fall asleep like no problem, Jordan.
Mac and cheese.
Yeah.
So anyway,
damn, did he just say freak me?
Yeah.
Freak me.
I'm trying to be PG here.
We gotta keep it PG.
Get the mac and cheese, and he says fuck you.
What do you hope to see in Mandalorian season 2?
Well, I kind of hope, like Jordan, I want to know how he got that black saber.
Right.
I want to know where he got it, how he got it, who was it from. I like to see Boba Fett in it, and I like to see both them and the Mandalorian fight. To be honest with you, I think Boba Fett will win and escape, but not kill the Mandalorian.
Right.
Reason being, I just think Boba Fett is more, how do you say, seasoned. He's more experienced.
Right.
Seasoned, yeah. I mean,
yeah.
You know, he's
That's
been through, look, man, he survived, what was that thing on that planet? The swallowed
on Tatooine.
Yeah. He came out of that. He's a tough guy.
I can't believe they actually confirmed that.
Well,
I was so happy when I heard about that.
But, you know, I like them to touch up on the battle droids, because that, honestly, out of the whole thing, that kind of throws me off with the whole thing.
They should have been like recycled by somebody.
Yeah, it kind of does. I mean, because to me, the guy should be a lot older than what he looked when he took the helmet. I mean, I'm just saying, I just. Because he looked like a boy of maybe 10 years old, whatever. But I want them to explain that. And why the Mandalorians were there helping him.
Right.
And again, what Tristan said, with Ahsoka coming in, is the Grey Jedi going to be brought up in there? And how they factor in. And also, how does the new Empire start up?
Yeah, how does the First Order happen?
You know, and that's about it. And honestly, I want them. The other thing I'd like to see is pairing up and sorry, I'm bad with names too, but the drop trooper, the girl.
Who?
The shock trooper.
Shock trooper. The girl that he's with, that he took.
Oh yeah.
You know, and she stayed behind. And I'm kind of like, yo,
people want her. People want her to play as a She-Hulk, which I'm not opposed to.
No, honestly, she may be built, but she's pretty hot. But
depends on what you're into.
But no, I mean,
I'll be honest with you.
I liked her with him,
Right.
especially when they battled the. They were on that planet. Yeah,
ATST, yeah.
They, and I kind of liked her with him, but them leaving her on that planet with the bounty hunters, with the guild, it's like, I'd much rather her be with him, but who knows, that might happen. I'm hoping that happens. They hook back up.
Alright. Yeah, that's definitely, I would like to see that too. If there's any final points anyone wants to make? I'm out.
We're all good.
I am out. Alright, so this has been the Chaotic Corp podcast. We also stream on Mixer. You can follow Jordan at mixer.com/hotpocket61. You can follow me at mixer.com/PauloTheKing. We also have a Twitter, Chaotic Corp 127. There we will announce any changes in upload schedules and podcasts and basically any media we do, plus whenever we stream. I don't think my dad has anything to plug in, unless he's secretly been doing Twitch this entire time.
No.
That's it. Thank you guys for supporting this entire season of the podcast.
And thank you guys for having me.